Hi, it's me, Chio. Welcome. Today I'll be talking to you about the merits of self-publishing. Some of you already know that I'm a self-published author, and I chose self-publishing after doing my research and finding out what best suits me. So if you are thinking of releasing your first book or switching from traditional to self-publishing and you are trying to decide which one best suits you, I hope this video will be able to help you on your journey. So let's get into the merits of self-publishing. Number one, publishing rights. This simply means that you have the right to when, where, and how your book is published. There are a couple of methods of self-publishing, but one common factor is the writer maintains 100% rights to their books. This means that the ISBN of your book is in your name. The writer signs a contract or an agreement that states that he has 100% rights in your book. This is seen in any self-publishing platform, but you should still check whatever site you choose to work with. When you own the rights to your book, you can choose how you want to brand or rebrand your book. You can also choose if you want to unpublish or republish your book. Number two, full rights to cover design. Whether you're designing it yourself or outsourcing it to a professional, this means you have the final say in how you want your cover to look. Traditional publishers usually decide for the author for marketing strategies, although there are some cases where they allow the writer to have an input on how the cover should be. And sure, they've been in business for long, so they know what a good cover looks like. They understand everything needed to get a cover right. But the key word here is business. As a business, they get to decide what vision they have of your book, what kind of design would best drive their audience to your book, but it might not necessarily capture your vision of that book. If you are a writer who wants their vision to be seen, you would need the full and final decision on your book cover. A cover is a big part of a book. It is the first thing a reader sees before buying your book. You would want to have the final say in what this should be. Number three, full story content. You've written a story you are proud of, now you want to publish. In a good number of cases, when you go through a traditional publisher, they might feel that something just isn't working for them or their audience. They might want to re-strategize and change an element of your story. It could be anything from age to race to gender to love interest. To you, these characters might have a significant value, but they don't know that because your vision isn't necessarily their vision, even if they do understand your story. When you self-publish, you get the right to keep the story as it is without compromising for anyone. In my experience as a Nigerian, traditional publishing has been tricky. I've submitted my work and received positive reviews, but the one element they've asked for me to change in my book is the story setting. They want my book to be more African. And sure, I have no problem writing African-based stories. I actually enjoy them. But for this particular book I submitted, I wrote it in a specific setting. This is integral to what the book is. So changing that destroys the basic foundation of my book. In order to maintain the structure I wanted, I chose the self-publishing route. This made it possible for me to publish my book how I wanted it, when I wanted it, without compromising my content. And it turned out to be a good thing because I did get positive reviews on my book. Number four, genre choice and age category. There are a number of distinct genre choices and age categories which publishers rely on to publish books. We have the romance, thriller, sci-fi, fantasy, mystery, and we have age groups like young adult, middle grade, adult. Publishers rely on categorizing these books into these groups to make it marketable to the right audience. But sometimes writers put out works that don't necessarily fall into one of these groups or aren't the publisher's interest at that point in time. What this means for you as a writer is if you do go through the route of traditional publishing, you'll be stuck querying until there is interest in the kind of book you write. This can take years. But there are readers out there who are interested in the kind of work you have at that point in time. So as a self-published author, you get to release your book on time to give to these readers. Number 5, schedule choice. Some writers are slow in writing, some writers are fast. As much as you have to be strict with yourself as a writer, some factors can derail you from your set schedule or planning. A publishing house will expect you to give them your work within a time frame given, and after that follow a strict schedule given to you for the publishing and launching of your book. If you don't think you can handle this, self-publishing is a good choice. You have the option to write, publish, and promote your book within the time frame or change of schedule you set for yourself. Number 6, priority. As a writer, your book is like your baby and you want it to get as much attention as you give it. But what happens when a big publishing house signs you but has more interest on a big name author? Your book simply won't get the attention you believe it deserves. This is because they have to cater to their audience, and this audience requests this particular author's work, so they have to push that more. They would give your book required time, but it might not be as much as you expect them to give it. But when you self-publish, you can push as much attention to your book as you want and can afford. Number 7, marketing and sales platform. As I said before, having your own ISBN and full rights to your book is one of the characteristics of a self-published author. In some cases, a traditional publisher retains the rights to your book, which means they have a final say on where and how your book gets sold. But some of your fans might be on a different platform from where they offer their services. And when these fans can't get to your book, you'd lose sales, and in some cases you lose fans because they aren't getting what they expect from you. An example of a platform where fans might lose out is Amazon. Although Amazon is worldwide and is the largest book platform out there, some countries can't access it easily, like Nigeria. Nigerians can't easily buy a Kindle or a Kindle book, and getting physical copies shipped to Nigeria is tricky and expensive. If your book was also available from a local source publisher or bookstore, they could get your books from them, and that would rack up sales for you. And finally, number 8, profit control. Sometimes self-publishing can be expensive if you don't do enough research and find deals to make the process easier and affordable. But if you do all that and market well, you definitely make profit. Traditional publishing houses generally give writers a sort of allowance before book publishing, and writers get 10% of royalty from book sales. But this is clearly not near what the profit of the book is. 10% seems really small comparatively. In some ways, this is fair because even though you've written the book, the publishing house is in charge of marketing, sales, everything involved in getting your book out there. They also are in charge of printing, and they have to pay all the staff involved in the making of your book. But these days, writers are required to promote their books themselves. This means half of the marketing and promotion is in your hands. If you don't already have an audience, some publishing houses wouldn't touch you. So you are still doing extra work besides the writing of this book. But you would still make just 10% from royalty. But when you self-publish, you keep all the profits. Results. So if you are thinking of self-publishing, I hope these merits would encourage you to go ahead with your journey, and you should still do your research to know exactly what it is you want out of self-publishing. That's it for my video today. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.